So Logan Paul is now involved in another controversy, and this time he's actually somewhat in the right, which is really surprising because most of the time I'm like, oh, he's wrong. And I've made fun of him before. You know, back when he had that Suicide Forest incident, I called him stupid. And then when he came out with that apology, I made fun of him for that because it was stupid. And it was so clearly read from a script. I mean, it was bad. But this time, he's involved in a controversy involving Nope. So, Nope is a movie that just came out on the 22nd. Today's the 25th, so 3 days ago. And it is starring Daniel Kaluuya, whatever, and Keke Palmer. Now, you might be wondering, what was this big mess up that Logan Paul did to get himself involved in a scandal or controversy? I don't even want to say scandal, but people are treating it like it's a scandal with a movie. Well, he had this to say. Nope is one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. I love Jordan Peele, and Keke Palmer can act her rear off, like the quartering said. But this movie is objectively slow and confusing, with stretched themes that don't justify the pace. A thread. And then he goes on to list a bunch of reasons in the thread. The thread is full of spoilers, so if you want to avoid spoilers and this movie is important to you, then don't read the thread. It's probably gone off the screen by now. But I feel like Logan Paul just messed up just a little bit here, because if you notice something about Logan Paul, he doesn't fit the right criteria to be critiquing these movies. And before you think that this is an opinion that I hold, just remember how Black Panther was. As you can see from this screenshot that I got from some black guy's video, the guy said that if you don't like Black Panther, then that makes you a racist person. That's obviously stupid, right? And it feels like whenever there's like a Jordan Peele movie or a Black Panther movie, if you're white, you're not allowed to critique it. And even if you're black, you're not supposed to critique it. But you can kind of get away with it, right? Like, I'm sure people were mad at Mahler for pointing out all the problems in the movie. Personally, I thought it was a good movie, but there are problems. And just because it's a major MCU movie centered around a black man doesn't mean that it's without fault, because that's silly to think that anything could be without fault. So obviously, Black Twitter came over to Logan Paul's tweet, and 9 times out of 10, if Black Twitter doesn't agree with you, then you're probably going to be in some trouble for the next couple of days. So there were some dumb tweets that we're going to take a look at, and we're going to start off with I feel Puerto Rican. Don't you need to practice since you a wrestler now? Stay out of grown folks' business, because you really don't want people to critique anything that you've done in your entire career as an influencer. He wrote like 10 tweets. That's like 20 to 30 sentences. Like, how long do you think that takes? Weird to comment on how someone spends time when you're spending yours ragging on someone who was a self-made millionaire at 16. Didn't you see the end of Mean Girls? So I don't know about the self-made millionaire at 16 part. I don't remember if Logan Paul was blowing up when he was 16. I don't think that was exactly right. But still, like, that's a good point. First of all, why are you trying to police the man's time? Like, this is something I can't stand. If you have a critique of an opinion, say something about the opinion, right? Don't spend your time going, oh, well, you did this. Oh, I think you're a hypocrite because this and this and this. Debate the point, because when I see this and I see that you don't have a point against this point, then I think, oh, well, maybe he's right, okay? And that's what I'm thinking, genuinely. Like, I have no reason not to. You don't have a counter argument other than, oh, well, why can't we just look at your career and critique your career? And obviously, Logan Paul's done some dumb things, like buy $3 million worth of Pokemon cards and not check the boxes. I mean, I bought a $14 Thrasher shirt on Depop, and I had the guy send me a picture of it, okay? And that was $14. There's no way I'm not bringing a verified guy with me that I know. I'm not getting scammed out of $3 million ever, unless I mess up real bad. Then we've got Gabby coming in with the same kind of argument. You were in the thinning. Don't ever speak on Jordan Peele again. And F-boy alien from your school comes in It says, admitting Jordan Peele missed with this movie despite an amazing director is respect. Respect doesn't necessarily mean you have to like their work, even if it's not their best. Yeah, he's 100% right. Honestly, it really is more respectful to be able to come out and critique the movie honestly, because it means that you think that the person can take the critique and you're willing to be upfront and honest, and you want the person to improve, and that's why you're giving your opinions, and that's why you're saying, okay, so this is wrong, you can improve here, here, and here, and through that, everyone is able to excel and succeed more. That's why criticism exists in the first place, so that people can better themselves. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people have lost recently, the ability to just take criticism and not view it as a personal attack. He's not even speaking on Jordan Peele, and she's acting like he is. He's talking about the movie. Now, obviously, he's talking about the movie that he made. It's literally called From the Mind of Jordan Peele, but at the same time, he's critiquing the movie. He's not speaking on Jordan Peele as a director. And then we got Blake Novy with a scorching hot take right here. Genuine question: what is it that you do other than share your unwanted opinions on the internet? And then Oreo Gamer guy comes in and just knocks her opinion out of the water. He says, I mean, he has a WWE contract. You can play him on WWE 2K22. He's a professional boxer, actor, the list goes on and on. So easy for people to hate because they're jealous AF. I gotta say, I'm really in agreement with Oreo Gamer guy. Like, first off, she was wrong from the jump when she said share your unwanted opinions. It doesn't matter who wants your opinion or not. You're supposed to be able to say it. Just because someone doesn't want your opinion doesn't mean that they have the right to just be like, oh, okay, so you're not allowed to give your opinion. And I see this a lot, especially on Twitter. Like, oh, why can't you can't have an opinion on this? Or why are you giving your unwanted opinion on this or that and this? And it's like, that's not what the point is. Okay, the point is that I have this opinion. Here's why. It's reason X, Y, and Z. That's it. I'm not meaning any disrespect by it. I'm just saying what I mean and what I feel. Well, even if it is disrespectful, that doesn't mean you're allowed to police someone's opinion. It's stupid. And then, yeah, she probably knows what this guy does because she's responding to him. And if she doesn't, then she just came across a random person and just replied to them. Why? Why are you wasting time out of your day to go after someone and talk to them for their random opinion? Especially when you're like, this person probably has the same level of internet fame as me, and that's not much. Okay, in fact, it's very little at all, right? So it's not like this person is like Morgan Freeman and Logan's gonna see this and be swayed by it. He's not. I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, give your opinion. Don't let people say that you shouldn't have one, because that's stupid. It's confusing because you lack the required equipment to be able to enjoy a movie that makes you think. No, even for movie buffs, you got to be able to admit when a movie isn't as deep and thoughtful as it planned to be. There was plot holes, useless storylines, and the ending made no sense. The movie was not good. So first off, she's calling him stupid, which, I mean, if you want to call him stupid, whatever. But clearly he's doing something right, because he's a lot more successful than her or me. So just saying. Anyway, moving on. Just because a movie makes you think, it doesn't mean it's good. There are movies that make you think like after the fact and make sense all the way through. Like, let's talk about The Hunger Games. That's a book. I haven't actually read the movies, but I'm going to use clips from the movies, right? So that story makes sense all the way through. You know, Katniss is a good shot because she grew up shooting. Blah, 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 blah. You know, President Snow is trying to manipulate Katniss. It makes sense. There's no glaring plot holes that I can really think of. And I've read the series like 3 or 4 times, all right? Now, I'm sure there are plot holes, but there's nothing story breaking, really. Nothing that you have to sit there and go, what? Right? And afterwards, I still thought about it. And it was good because I thought about, hey, is humanity doomed to repeat the cycle of building up a new system and then it falling down again? Is that all that is we're headed towards? It's just things like that, right? And there's other movies that just try to be smart and try to outsmart the viewer. And at the end of the day, they just end up looking, sounding, and feeling stupid. It doesn't make a movie good just to make you think about it and make you confused and try to outsmart you. A movie is good when it has good, coherent storylines and plot-driven elements and good characters, and you can think about it and be like, oh, okay, that's cool, and it still holds up to an extent. Now, there are good stories where they just don't make sense. Fast and Furious, I think, is pretty cool, blah, blah, blah. But still, the point is, just because a movie is trying to outsmart you and try to be outsmart doesn't mean that it's good. Now, with all these raving reviews for Nope, I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. And then I looked at the runtime. I was like, never mind. So I'm just not gonna watch it. There's no way I'm gonna do that for a movie that I really did not care about. Still don't. The only reason I even talked about this was because the way people were presenting their arguments was just so ridiculous. I can't stand when people attack the person instead of the argument. Because you're not winning the argument, you're just attacking them, which a lot of times is people's real objective. And at the end of the day, I can't get too mad at that, but at least be honest about it. If you want to say, oh, all the answers are in the movie, then cool. Call them out on that, right? Make counterpoints, and you're good on my point. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it off here because that's all I have to say on this whole thing. Thank you all for watching. If you have any criticism on how I can get better at this, I'd love to hear it. I love reading it. I feel like it helps me improve different things when it comes to editing and recording, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Goodbye.